Hello, I've got 5 cards here. They're rather ornate. They kind of look like the cover of a fairy tale book. And in fact, on the front, they have plot points of fairy tales and stories in general. And there's only 5 of them. I'll explain to you what they are. First, we have the home. The home is the first initial one that we saw. And what it is where you start, like the Shire. Of course, then there's the Odyssey. The Odyssey is where you journey out. It's Gandalf coming back. Then the Prevalence, which is the conflict, the overcoming of conflict, melting the ring, killing Smaug. Then there's the Path, which is going back home, returning to the Shire, and then the Dream, which is filling in the book, The Lord of the Rings at the end of the movie, or simply coming and having a better life, or if you're Inception, waking up from the dream. But these things can be viewed backwards and forwards as the same thing. The home can be seen as the dream. The path can be, or the Odyssey can be seen as the path. And vice versa, the path is the Odyssey. The Prevalence is always the same because it's always in the middle. It's the overcoming of conflict. And then there's the Odyssey and the home. These are very simple terms. And they can mean the same thing backwards and forwards. So whether you have the home or the Odyssey as the first or last parts of your story, they'll always be surrounding the Prevalence, that overcoming of conflict. And then the path and the dream. These are things that always exist. But as I said, you can view them backwards and forwards. So you can have the home instead of the dream, the Odyssey instead of the path. Prevalence is always in the middle. Then there's the path instead of the Odyssey and the dream instead of the home. I'll illustrate this more clearly to you. Look, we have, here, turn them this way so we can see. We have the home. We have the Odyssey. These are very nice ornate cards. We have the Prevalence, and that leaves us with the path and the dream. But as I said, you can view these as you like, which is the home instead of the dream, the path, or the Odyssey instead of the path, the Prevalence, the path instead of the Odyssey, and the dream instead of the home. They're all the same no matter what. And the importance about that and why it's so meaningful is very simple. You will wake up one day at home and you will have had a dream the same night. And so you can either start working on that dream to make a new home by leaving your home, going out adventuring on that Odyssey, taking that path of life to get somewhere better. And you can overcome that conflict, that achieve that dream, overcome the struggles to venture back on a journey that's harder or on a path that's easier and return home somewhere better or return home dreaming even bigger because you've improved. That's the specialty of these 5 cards.